We're here. We're live. They just
Hey,
saw all of that. It was all the behind the scenes that nobody is supposed to see, as everybody could see. I'm not a true
makes for a
professional.
better
Just
show.
I thought it was more genuine, more authentic. I think so too.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the local Bizcast. Special day, Monday night, special time, because we have a very special guest. We had to. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Anthony Russo. We're looking right now at the president of the CIANJ. That's not the CIA you think you're
You would
thinking
think
of.
that. Yep.
You're going to discuss all that, of course. He's also the publisher of the Commerce magazine for the CIANJ. We have a few shots of that that's going on. But welcome to the podcast.
Well, Peter, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
The pleasure is mine.
And it's good to be all the way up in North Jersey.
Yeah, I feel bad. We dragged
are a
you.
statewide group,
Yeah,
but you
there
know
we
what?
go.
This is as far north as you can get. So
This is true. We are
Thanks for
exit
having me.
172 on the Garden State Parkway. It is the last exit in New Jersey. So,
Yeah.
but I feel like I'm in the presence of greatness. So, my wife, Dr. Kelly Blundy, who is on the board of the CIANJ, kind of recommended it, thought that this would be a great fit, and I happen to agree with her.
and we're
quite a
lucky
bit,
to have her.
so,
But you said something interesting, and I'll tell you a funny story about the CIANJ, because at least 2 or 3 times a year we do get an email or a phone call thinking that we're the New Jersey chapter of the CIA.
yes.
So it's kind of funny, but it stands for the Commerce and Industry Association of New Jersey. We started in 1927.
So you guys are young. You're
Right.
just getting started. No
2 more
experience.
years, we'll be celebrating 100
100.
years.
That's amazing.
And we started out as the Bergen County Chamber of Commerce. And ironically, PSE&G and one of our insurance agencies, who still exists today, actually founded the organization. And in 1983, they changed the name to the Commerce and Industry Association. So we're a statewide business group. We represent about 900 companies. You pick the sector, we have a member. So I love my job, and I love the team that we work with, because every day is different, right? And we're really business connectors. We really bring a lot of these companies together. We do 3 things when you think of it as a platform, just like what we're doing today, right? It's getting our company's brand out, connecting our companies. So whether it's hospitals, utility companies, manufacturers, insurance companies, we also have 16 colleges and universities. What I love about it is, you get to see how businesses work together, right? And that's one thing. And we do a lot of political stuff, and we're nonpartisan. We both play with the Democrats and the Republicans. We look at everything through the business lens. And what's nice about the job and what's nice about the organization is you really do get to see how businesses really need each other in order to thrive in an economy, right? Because private sector jobs, in my mind, and I say this when I'm in Trenton a lot, it really provides that quality of life for a lot of our residents. So if you love what you do for work, and I'm sure you do.
I absolutely do.
Right? You don't mind going to work. And I think that's why our whole point in Trenton is always, let's grow our economy, because it gives people a great quality of life, because your job is important. Right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
thank you.
You're welcome. And again, thank you. I mean, I couldn't agree with you more with regards to using other businesses and everything like that. I was on a recent podcast with somebody and just letting them know how I love taking somebody from completely outside of the healthcare sector and bringing them in to help my business, because their best practices are completely different than our best practices. And I'm thinking inside the box. I've been doing this for over 2 decades now. I can't see outside the box. So if I bring a manager in from retail and I can see what they're doing in retail, or if we bring somebody in from manufacturing, it's amazing the collaboration that occurs. And I kind of preach that. And that's why I have such a diverse team. It's super helpful. And I love what this is. Yeah.
You always learn. And me, life is about continuing education, no matter what you do. And you hit it on the head. You really want to learn from each other. So a lot of our events that we do, and we do a lot of events a year, we do about 90. People tell me this all the time, no matter if it's a lawyer, a banker, an accountant, insurance agent, they don't want to see PowerPoints anymore. They want to hear your story. They want to hear, how did you do it?
Yes.
What should I avoid? What should I embrace? Those are the kind of things that when we do our events, we bring people together.
All right, you're going to be my new co-host, because this is literally what this local bizcast was all about. Yes, obviously we want to promote our local businesses, and my anticipation is to try to scale this across the state. Why not? Maybe even the country. And yes, I want people to advertise this at the other thing, but I also want other people to hear the journey. And I always say this, and I guys, if you're getting tired of me saying it, I apologize, but I think it's important, because instead of these amazing cameras that we have here, the lights and everything like that, and how cool this is for a lot of people, The coolest thing for me is the person that's standing right outside that door that's filming it from the
Right.
backside, the behind the
Absolutely.
scenes and everything like that. And I mean, from what Kelly is telling me, I mean, the CIANJ is behind the scenes over there.
We're
And
very
it's
behind the scenes, and like I said, it's fascinating when I publish our magazine. And the magazine, by the way, started in 1968.
hold on, we're going to show you guys a little copy of
Yes,
that. That's a
called
not so
Commerce.
famous person on that one over there, huh? I
Yes,
left my remote over there. Oh, no, I got it right here.
we were fortunate to have Steve Forbes as our keynote speaker at what we call our main event,
Look at that.
which happens in
Just
October.
incredible, incredible.
So, as a publisher, and again, my background is an engineer, worked for the state of New Jersey. So, to actually meet Steve Forbes and to talk to him about Forbes magazine was an honor and a thrill, because I've been at CINJ now for 13 years. I've been president 8. So, I learned the publishing side of it as I got the job.
God.
It was a baptism by fire, but it's pretty remarkable to see. And again, what we do really well with the magazine is we tell the stories, right? We tell the people story. It's about the story that you don't read or see on TV that people want to hear, because you know what? At the end of the day, we have to teach each other how we accomplish things,
Yeah, absolutely.
right? And that's more or less lessons learned, right? And passing it down to everybody. So
I mean, it's like the 80-20, right? If you got a lot of fluff, a lot of this, that, the other thing, but there's 20% of what you do that
Mhm.
brings in 80% of all the work.
Correct.
And that's where else do you get that? And
Yeah,
it's
I agree.
just behind the scenes. I promote like mentorships and internship programs, and I kind of try to find at every level, trying to find a new mentor or a mentor. And I find it right now very difficult. I'm looking for somebody like to mentor. It's probably something that you can find in these
Sure.
magazines.
Yeah.
Wow, this guy is doing something incredible. Wonder if I can shadow him for a day
Sure.
or help out. So
Well, on the mentoring side, and again, I invite everybody to go to our website, cianj.org, but we do a lot through what we call forums. We have a Women in Commerce forum that we launched about 5 years ago in March to celebrate Women's History Month. We're going to have an event, and it's about empowering tomorrow's leaders. We're going to team up with our local high schools, colleges, and really teach the up and comers, what we call the young professionals, the next generation of leadership, basically mentoring with a lot of our women business owners.
right.
And if you look at our board of directors, we're proud of the fact, I mean, we have 80 board members, right? Kelly's one of them. And so we have Terry O'Connor, who's very famous.
Big up over here, that's for
right?
sure. Yeah.
Top realtor school. Cindy Meyer, who runs the Ridgewood movement up here. So it's nice, because when we build these events, we always keep that in mind. Is we try to build not only that charitable component to help give back to the community, but what can we do to build tomorrow's leaders, right? Because we're going to be celebrating 100 years in 2 years, and we want to celebrate 200 years when I'm long gone. right?
Absolutely.
So that's really the legacy we shoot for.
I mean, obviously, you guys are doing something right, because I have no idea how many of these organizations last as long as you guys have, and that's absolutely incredible.
It's been an honor.
A testimonial, and I hear nothing but amazing things. What I told my friends, yeah, I've got the president of the CIANJ coming on. I'm like, ooh, they're thinking obviously it's the CIA, and I'm sure you guys get that a
All the
lot.
time.
And then the Culinary Institute of America, and I said, well, I think he might actually be the head chef of the CIA division of
Well,
New
I am
Jersey.
Italian American, first generation Italian American.
There we see that.
Food is important.
I happen to agree with you. Jewish, but I married an Italian girl, as you very well
We're the
know.
same.
So, yeah, Sebastian Maniscalco put it best, right? Same company, different division, and we let you guys do the catering. So it absolutely it works out so much more that way. But you had an interesting. You were telling me right before we got on camera, like you have done a few things in your life. It wasn't all straight. It was kind of a few left turns and a few right turns here. So.
No, and that's again going back to our theme, right, about lessons learned and where life takes you. I mean, I'm a first generation Italian American. My mom and dad literally got off the boat in the 60s. They settled in Jersey City. I have two brothers. My older brother went to law school, became a lawyer. I went to engineering school, and my younger brother is a physician in Lambertville.
Yeah, your parents are obviously not proud of you guys at all.
And they literally worked in a sweatshop in Hoboken.
I can only imagine.
If you remember sweatshops back then, they used to sew women's coats, and so that work ethic, go to college, education is important. And, that was the journey. As I graduated mechanical engineer from NGIT, I literally, the day of graduation, I took my cap and gown off, drove to Trenton, New Jersey, and I interviewed for the Department of Environmental Protection. They gave me a job on the spot. So I'm 22, 23. I'm working for the state of New Jersey. Then I made a pivot 4 years later. I represented oil companies. I did environmental cleanup work. So I worked at the Department of Environmental
Uh-huh.
Protection. And so that kind of set me off in that career of environmental cleanups, climate change. We could talk about a lot of things. And then I really became on the lobbying side, government affairs side, 25 years ago, right? It was 2000, where I represented chemical and pharmaceutical companies for 11 years. Did 2 years in Washington, D.C., thought I would move my family down there. That didn't work out. And I've been with CIANJ now for about, like I said, 13 years. And really, the way we look at ourselves is we're a general business group or network. Our mantra back in 1927 was all about a free market economy. We're proud capitalists. We don't
Okay.
shy away from it. We take pride in, thinking about entrepreneurship,
Absolutely.
creating those private sector jobs. And again, why that helps and why that matters is because those private sector jobs helps the whole community, helps the state. And I tell the governor, the state legislature, that when we can grow our tax base, everybody benefits from it. Because as one of our members said a long time ago, he said to me, Tony, when New Jersey makes anything, manufacturing, wealth is generated, right? Wealth comes in, right? I got to hire that banker. I got to hire that accountant, that plumber,
Oh, yes.
that truck driver. So you just can kind of connect how the economy works. And it really is something that gives me chills when I see it in action, is that really we all have to work together. And one of the things that we learned with COVID is, I don't know if you remember when they picked the essential economy,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Uh-huh.
Our message back was we're all essential.
Yeah.
Everybody's job is essential. So that was one of those lessons learned where if we had to do it all over again, hopefully we could approach it where nobody shut down because all businesses are connected.
It's 100% right. I mean, we saw that. I mean, even when we come over here, everybody has to eat. Everybody has to get gas. Everybody has to go to the dry
Right,
cleaners.
lights on, right,
I
yeah.
mean, it's just, I hate to say it, trickle down, because it's
Well,
obviously
you
has to kind
support
of,
a lot of indirect jobs.
and that's what it's all about. It's always been about that,
Right,
And I
right.
just, I mean, it's not the quid pro quo, but because it's not we're expecting anything, but
No.
we help everybody and they help us, and
It's
that's
truly part of the ecosystem.
right. I like that.
Yeah,
It's like
part
the
of the
business ecosystem.
Right. It's exactly it. And that's what we usually like to tell our folks down in Trenton is look at it, go up to the rooftop and look at it. macro.
30,000 view.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because when you look at it, it's, okay, well, this business could stay open, that business, but I'll give you an example. One of our manufacturers, I mean, they made laminates, they made carpets. Well, when retail was shut down during COVID, their orders stopped.
Right.
Right. So even though retail was shut down, he had to close down for a while
Right.
because he lost the order.
Yeah.
Right? So
of course.
the truck driver didn't work because the truck driver didn't have anything to deliver.
There you go. And
So
then
that's
what does
why-
that truck driver use? He doesn't have to go to get the coffee and the bagel. He doesn't have
Right.
to go get gas. And it's
Yeah.
Nah.
So I mean, we're very proud of the whole fact of free market economies. We think it works best when businesses could thrive. You're an entrepreneur. You're thinking all the time, okay, I'll invest my own capital. I'll invest my own ideas. Let me grow. You're going to take care of your workforce. You're going to take care of the community, all the companies that we represent, and it's our number one resource are the people that work with us, right? So
God, you're a poet. You know that?
I'm sorry.
You're a poet. It comes out so nicely. You've never done this before. I know, right? No,
I'm going to be you
amazing.
one day.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, okay, fine. You're on my co-host. You're on the short list. That's for sure.
Well, I love the name, by the way. I
So,
love
thank
the
you.
name.
Yeah, local bizcast.
And
I'm
who
just trying.
designed the graphics?
I mean, do I have to tell you? And it's my
Sure.
secret. It was ChatGPT. It was AI. This is
interesting.
AI generated. And the
Really?
funny thing is, the only thing it had, so in the beginning, it had a couple of beer mugs with some guitars. And I just had to tell, Chat, hey, can you take out the beer mugs and the guitars? It's not that type of a podcast. And you can see there's like a music portion of it and stuff like that. And it kept on putting the beers and the.
I was thinking
and
which
the
one is
guitars.
the bar?
Right?
Where's
It's
the
out there.
Starbucks? The coffee shop.
But I mean, this is like the first
That
image
actually
that
really
it
good.
really
It's
came
really
up
good.
with. And I'm like, this captures
Perfect.
it is small town with the New York City, the city in the background over there. It's I'm like, this is it. This is nailed. I mean, I'm assuming at some point I'll probably have to grab a graphic engineer. You guys have any graphic artists in the CIANJ? I'm sure you do. All right. See that? This is how we scratch everybody's back over here. But all right. So Kelly said, you have your finger on the pulse of the government and the politics of the state of New Jersey, and I really need to ask you about that. So,
Sure.
and I love that you said you are a capitalist type of. All right, so what is the temperature here in the state of New Jersey with that ideology?
Never been more fascinated with what the and look, it's unfortunate, and I mean that sincerely, that COVID, the presidential election of 2020, this country just divided, right?
Yeah,
Just divided. I saw it with our membership. I still see it with our membership. So we got to get back to the point where there's that collegial, that working together. Because really, at the end of the day, when you think about what's happening at the federal level now that President Trump is back, we are a blue state. We have a governor who's very progressive, and he's accomplished a lot, and a lot of things that weren't so good for business. Some of them were, some of them weren't, right? And we went through that list, and to me, this is a year where we're going to elect a new governor,
right.
right? We're one of two states across the country. Virginia is the other one, where immediately following a presidential election, two states pick a governor. So
Right.
all eyes will be on New Jersey and Virginia.
Well,
Right.
we're
So,
used to that. Is
yeah,
Virginia
we're
as used to it as
yeah,
as we
sure.
are? Okay, yeah,
But everybody says, right, if you look at the Democrats who have announced, there's a crowded field of five.
absolutely.
Same with the Republicans. So the primaries in June. But one thing I'll tell you, Pete, that really fascinates me. I'm a numbers guy, and this goes back to my engineering days. I look at the numbers, and I'm still surprised. New Jersey's got 9.5 million residents.
Right.
6 million of them are registered voters. Looking at the voter turnout in 2020 was the highest
Was it
in
2
the
million?
top.
What was it?
No, it was in the 80%.
Oh, it was okay.
was
So
high.
yeah, almost 5 million.
This election, it dropped down to low 60s.
Oh,
So the governor, and if you look at the history of the governor's races,
yeah.
it drops down to less than half.
Wow.
So what does that tell you, right? So one of the things that I like to go out and tell our membership and our community is, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever party, you have to be involved. You have to go out. You have to vote. And I'm just surprised that there's still a lot of apathy, and maybe people are just fed up, or maybe people don't think but you think about what happened when you and I were growing up, there was election day.
Yes.
Now it's an election
Season. Yep.
right?
Sure.
Early voting, right? You
Yep.
walk in now. So to me, you would think because of that, now that they've made it easier to vote, you would think the turnout would be higher, but
And it's going down.
So I think, you have to watch. Going back to your question about what's going to happen this year, and again, we're nonpartisan. We look at it, but we're also pro-business, right? Where anybody that comes out and supports a pro-business agenda, we're going to support.
Absolutely.
Whether it's a Democrat, Republican, we're not. It's not like people say, "Well, Tony, do your members like to pay taxes?" We know that's a reality,
Right.
right? Are the taxes the right tax? For example, our corporate business tax is one of the biggest, largest in the country.
Yes.
Can we scale that back down? Where's the tax money going? Is it going to infrastructure? Is it going to? So we always ask those questions, regulations, right? So it runs the gamut. But I could tell you from a business perspective, our members, I think the business community, cautiously optimistic, right? The stock market is up.
Mm-hmm.
Interest rates are starting to level out. So in my mind, when people say, "Well, how's the," you're gonna have pockets where certain industries are getting hit pretty hard.
Yes. Either
But then
happy
you're
or
gonna have,
unhappy.
yeah, you're going to be thriving, right? So, everybody's looking at it, but the top issues are energy,
Yeah.
right? Gas. Uh, are we going to go all electric cars or not? Big controversial issue.
It's happening in New Jersey.
It's happening in New
All
Jersey,
right, because
right?
you hear about that, obviously California
Yeah.
and at the federal level
Well,
and
the
all the
governor
stuff
wants
that's going
to
on. Here.
go all electric by 2035. That's 10 years from now.
Yeah, that's
Right.
tough.
But you drive around, there's a lot of what they call electric anxiety, right? Am I going to get in my car? Am I going to be able to charge my car? So it's still, I think the market is more hybrid than it is all electric. But so you have that issue. Another issue that really is front and center for a lot of our members, workforce development, right? Is our people coming out of college, vocational schools, directly from high school, and are they working? What types of jobs do they want? And it's hard to replace a lot of your employees, right? It's just tough to find good talent.
Oh, that has
been
been one
tough,
of our
I'm
biggest
sure,
things.
right.
This is what we talk about because one of the things that we do on the Bizcast, how can we help you? It's not just new customers or new patients or anything like that, but people are having a hard time finding staff.
Yeah, and we tell people, because again, we're proud of the fact that we have 16 colleges and universities, a few presidents sit on our board. What if you think about how you and I've talked to a lot of our members, when you have an open position, the first instinct is to either talk to a colleague, do you know of anybody, right?
Yeah.
It's the first question everybody, do you know of somebody?
Right. It's like
Is it-
getting
second question
trying
is,
to find a girlfriend or a boyfriend. You
right.
ask your friends, hey, you know anybody? Right.
Right. That's the
There's
first
trust,
instinct.
of course.
Second thing is you say, let's post something on Indeed or ZipRecruiter. We're trying to change the mindset and go back to the university system, because all these colleges have career and placement offices, right? They keep in touch with a lot of the alumni. So to me, I think we have to change that dynamic, that condition, to rethink how we think about how do we develop our workforce. But that's a major issue that's going to be around for quite a while, and hopefully it gets to the point where, New Jersey has a very good, diverse, and talented workforce. We have a great higher ed system, great school system. So to me, when we think about how we're situated between New York,
Sure.
Philadelphia, if you look at Port Elizabeth and Newark, and we're very proud of this fact, it actually, depending on the week, it could become the number one port in the country behind
Really?
California.
How about that?
So think about all the ships that come in. That's pure commerce. When we think about our magazine, commerce, it doesn't get any better than
That's
that. When
everything
ships
just coming
come
in.
with goods, and they have to be
It just
shipped out.
starts right there. And there's
Yes.
no matter what good, it starts with the longshoremen on the docks all
Yeah.
the way to where those products have to get to, what those products
We're a
do.
logistics state. I
Oh,
mean, if you got to look at it
yeah.
this way, we're a logistics state when you think about our infrastructure, and that's why it's a priority. So, but it's something that will never be at a point where, at least I'm speaking for me personally and our team, there's always something to do, all right? Because when you work with government and you try to work with your partner agencies, whether it's at the local level, county, federal, or state, it's and I've been around long enough to know it's always businesses want a partner. They really do,
Yeah.
right? Government should be seen as a partner and not as an adversary.
Right.
We know government can never be business, but a lot of our folks think that government can be run like a business, and they should be run like a business. And so hopefully we get to a point where, this all comes together. And again, keep it simple. It's all about these private sector jobs, growing our economy, and everybody benefits from that.
I happen to agree, obviously, 100% as a business owner.
Right.
So I got two questions for you. Number one, are we losing people from the state? Are they, again, you said we're in between New York and Philadelphia, but, we've been losing a lot of people from the Northeast going into different places. So
it's a good question.
is that a problem?
A good question. And depending on which survey or report you read, either they're fleeing from New Jersey or leaving New Jersey, or they're coming in.
Okay.
Question, Pete, is
What's our net?
Right. What's our net? But also the people that are coming in, what type of jobs are they getting? Right. Are they, I know the governor's big on innovation, artificial intelligence, right? Those high paying jobs. Those are the
Yes.
kind of jobs that you want. So I think, again, if you look at the census, we grew by 500,000.
Okay. That's
So
a
the
net
census,
positive in
yeah, it's a
there.
net positive there. But it goes back to, and I think our unemployment rate, I just read this last week, is about 4.5%, 4.6%. So it's holding in there. So I think, again, a lot of opportunity, a lot of promise. And that's why whenever the governor race is on, it's just fascinating. And I encourage everybody to go out and talk to the candidates, go on their websites, weigh in, tell them what you like to see,
Sure.
right? Because at the end of the day, you're going to elect he or she to be the governor, and they're going to have to make that decision on what the priorities are. That's what politics is,
Yes.
right? And a lot of people, to me, my biggest pet peeve is when somebody doesn't get involved, the apathy, because then you can't complain. Right?
Well, I mean, it starts with it was always my thing. You don't vote, you don't have the right to complain.
You really don't.
You could vote, maybe you were on the wrong side of it.
Right.
Now you
But
have the
that's
right to
that
complain, but
push
it's still.
It's that push and pull that
Absolutely.
happens all the time, and that push and pull. And at the end of the day, you elect those officials, and that's what's called advocacy. That's what's called lobbying. That's what's make your voices heard. Platforms like what you have here
Sure.
is important, right, to get the message out.
Well, and that's another important thing. I may or may not know a few of the candidates personally, as you probably know, and it's like I hear what people say. Oh, they said this or they're into this, and I'm like, but I know them. No, they're not. Like that's the complete opposite. And obviously, we've seen a lot of that in the national politics and stuff like that.
Sure.
So it's nice to get involved because then you can get it from the horse's mouth, for lack of a better term.
Look, you can make the argument that the governor has more of a direct impact on your life than the president does.
Right? I can't even imagine if anybody would argue that, to tell you the truth, right?
Yeah, so to me, it's perplexing to me that the voter turnout
Yeah.
just drops off.
And well, if this is going to be any more of a more important, right? So Donald Trump is into putting more power in the states, which
Sure.
again, the whole philosophy is that the power is supposed to be in the states.
Decentralized, right?
Absolutely. So then you're 1,000% right. He is admitting to you, Donald Trump, that the governor of New Jersey is more important for you than the president of the United
Sure.
States. And so I happen to agree.
Yeah, and so I think this race, watch, because again, it's a crowded field, of very talented people, both
Sure.
the Republicans and the Democrat side. So I think, and by the way, we're going to also elect our assembly, right? Not to get into the weeds, but I think it's important, right? New Jersey has 121 people representing 9.5 million. You have the governor, that's one.
Okay.
Then you have 40.
Are you going to go through all 120?
No.
Do you know these? Because I'm telling you,
Sure.
I would be very impressed. That's
No, but you have 40 senators and you have 80 assembly people.
okay. Got it.
So again, look, I talk to a lot of our members and I say, know who your mayor is. Start there.
Yep.
Know who's on your city council, because if you have a company and you're in the community, it matters. Then you work your way up to the state. Who's your state representatives? Who's your assembly people? Who's your state senator? Forget about our congressional delegation is important, right?
Sure.
We have 12, and then you have the 2 senators, right? We have Andy Kim, the new senator now. But to me, start with who's at the state level that is going to care about your company and what you.
Did you really pay attention in civics class back in the
did.
day? And then
Actually, no,
because
I
you got
was
out in engineering, and I'm like,
Right.
yeah,
I'm thinking, this is all like working around Trenton. And I tell people, if you have time, take a road trip. Now you could see it live on your computer. Watch, it gets a little stale sometimes.
little
but-
C-SPAN action,
Yeah.
that type of thing. Sorry, I'm probably aging ourselves right now, right?
And J-SPAN.
And J-SPAN do they have? But yeah, I mean, it's incredible. It's so important. I wish I knew more when I was younger.
Right.
And here I am now, obviously, and Kelly getting more involved. My wife, you guys may not know, Dr. Kelly, but it's so important because it just helps everything. It's been helping my business, of course. It's been helping my family, of course.
Yeah.
And it's incredible.
Politics matter, but we just got to do it in a very respectful way, right? Where we're not always tearing down the other side, because it really isn't.
agree.
I look, I think you and I are about the same age. We remember back in the 80s when I was growing up. I mean, it was, cordial.
Yes.
Cordial with
Everybody was
right?
a little bit
They
more
had
respectful.
disagreements,
Yeah.
but and we kind of lost that. And I think history is going to judge us by 2020, right? COVID,
Yep.
presidential election. And it's like when George Floyd, right? The unfortunate death there.
Sure.
So, I mean, a lot of things happened in 2020 that really were really a defining moment. And we're going to look back and say, okay, what did we do since then?
Can we get back?
Can we get back?
Can we get back?
Yeah.
Can we get back to being
I
nice?
think so. I think so.
I hope so.
I think we're resilient. I
Yeah.
think if you're a student of history, we've been there before, right? Where we've had these kind of stresses. But I think America is resilient. America is diverse. America is at a point where we're going to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And we're going to be okay.
I mean, in the past, it took
At least
some.
that's the
yeah.
optimist in me.
I like that. I stay
Yeah.
optimistic. I
Yeah.
like that. In the past, it seems like it has taken something that happened horrible to the country to bring us all together. Let's
Right.
hope we don't need something like
Right,
that in
right.
order to bring us all together. I know this is going to sound crazy. We have like 2 minutes left.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like I
Went
can
quickly.
go all day.
Yeah. It was
This
just
is
fun.
amazing. You want to just
Yeah.
make this one an hour or what? Nobody would mind, right? So, but no, come on. We had to talk about the CIANJ a little bit, or the
Okay.
Commerce Magazine. Tell us what we could do for you. What is it that you're looking for? How can we help your business?
Well, I appreciate that. So again, I invite you to go to Commerce Magazine.
Hold on,
We
I can put it back up over here. Hold on. Let's go. There we go.
We also have a partnership with something called Tap Into Network, which covers a lot of local news. And Mike Shapiro has done a great job. He's got about 85 franchises. But we've partnered with them with our magazine to get the business story out there. So what you can do for me and your listeners and the people that are viewing this is tell us your story. We'd love to cover it in the magazine. As far as our association, again, you join, you get part of our network. It's Business Connectors, right? You come out to our networking events. We do a lot of different things. Last November, we had the founder of Keurig Coffee, who's a New Jersey native.
Stop it. I had no idea.
You talk
Are
about
you kidding
an
me?
innovator. He graduated at NJIT. This is
There's a little
somebody-
pride right here. You guys see that
Yeah.
right there? A little pride. I see.
This is
Okay.
somebody that literally, created the K-Cup,
That's amazing.
changed the way people drink coffee. And so to hear him tell his story was just, personally, it was remarkable, because you don't come across people that often where they've changed the way So it's
It's an
disruptive.
absolute disruptor. The definition of
Absolutely.
disruption.
Right.
You better watch out though. We have Jura across the street over here. So the national headquarters. And
So
the
anyway,
meat
yeah.
companies. Yeah,
So
just
it's one of those
kidding.
things where, with the events, the magazine, the advocacy piece, we'd love to get people more involved.
Is it just for big business? Is
No,
this for
we
small
have
business?
small
I mean, you're
business,
talking about Main Street and
one person
Wall Street.
shops, yeah.
Fantastic.
Marketing people, printers, you name it. Marketing professionals, communications, again, lawyers, bankers.
Plenty
So,
of
yeah. I
opportunity.
invite you to go to our website and take a look at our membership.
Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony or Tony Russo, I heard you referring to yourself, the president of the CIANJ, the publisher of the CIANJ Commerce Magazine. If you enjoy this show, I have to do the business. I always forget to do the business. I think I'm supposed to do it in the beginning.
Yes.
But please go to our YouTube channel or our Spotify channel. It's the Local Bizcast. Hit like, hit subscribe, and we will keep on bringing more and more content. I mean, again, we're in a famous person right here sitting next to me. Are you guys kidding me? I mean,
How about a round of applause for Pete? And what
thank you
she's
very
done
much.
here. Not only a great chiropractor, but now he's a producer.
There we go. Moving on in the right direction,
So
I
thank
hope,
you,
every
Peter.
day. The pleasure was absolutely mine. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us next on the Local Bizcast, that's going to be this Wednesday, January 29th, at a little bit of a special time, 9:30 a.m. That's going to be Jamie Fuentes, Harmony Within Massage Therapy out of Westwood, New Jersey. I hope you guys join us then. Again, thank you to Tony Russo, CIANJ, and the Commerce Magazine. Ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful evening. Enjoy, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.